Welcome back everyone for another Halloween Horror Nights video. Nicole and I are finally back at HHN. It feels like it's been forever. It's only been a few days, but I've been loving this year. And talking about loving this year, we're going to talk about our first impressions overall on HHN34. If we feel like it's been the best year yet, could it pretty much hold the test of time as one of the top years in people's history? I don't know, there's a lot to cover. We're basically gonna be going over a little bit of everything. I know we've given you guys our reviews on the houses already, but I just wanna talk like the whole vibe of HHN34. Where does it stack up? Where are the things that I feel like could still be improved? Things like that. But overall, today we're just gonna be talking about the event. Where do we feel like it lies, and just having a good time. You could see we have storm clouds here, so we're trying to dodge some rain here, but let's get checked in. We are here for Stay and Scream, luckily enough, and we will have kind of a Stay and Scream guide because that also has drastically changed this year. It's also a little bizarre because they're playing like Universal music here, but they were playing like El Artista vibes out in City Walk, which is kind of like a disconnect, but that's all right. Now, I know this is obvious to most people, but don't forget, oh, also, they're changing out the sign for HHN right now. If you guys have an annual pass, you guys can get into Stay and Scream. It is just included because you basically have a park ticket for the day, which I love. Also, if you guys don't mind, we are now 1,000 subscribers away from 10,000. I'm trying to think of like what to do for 10K because I feel like that's a huge milestone. So if you guys wouldn't mind, please consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate it. I don't know if you guys have ideas for like a 10K celebration, let me know. I don't know if we do like a giveaway, if we do like a fun video, I don't know, live stream. Try and come up with some fun ideas because I would absolutely do something fun because that is a huge milestone for the channel. I want to see if we have any of the Hamikuma merch. We were supposed to have it, I think, already, and I have not seen it, and I don't know if we've got any new merch in general this year. Oh, you know what? These might be new. The little like Pip Boys, little bags there. We also have a new Fallout lanyard, so they are coming out with a little bit of new merch that is going on. $50 for the Pip-Boy bags, by the way. We do have two new pieces for Wyatt 6 here. So we have this bag, kind of looks like a fanny pack of sorts. You can see the logo there. Actually, a little bit bigger than the average fanny pack. I think this one is like 40 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's 40. And then you also have a hat here that says Wyatt 6. I don't love that this is kind of like a sticker style because they've done a really good job in general, but I do like the design overall. I think they really have a solid look there. But again, that sticker isn't my favorite. You know, I like that they have like a patch style for the WWE logo, but like that's a little off. It looks like we also have a new Jason shirt that has shown up here. Looks pretty good. Jason Universe on the back, Halloween Horror Nights 2025. Again, light, so very breathable. That's also going to be $35. They also have these kind of shot glasses. I don't know. I feel like you could pretty much like put fun goodies in there, hold your pencils or whatever. But you can see it's 12 bucks for this. Definitely larger than your typical shot glass. So I'm not really sure if that's what it is, but this is also new. We also have Freddy Fazbear Magnet, it looks like here. I think this is new. That's going to be $13 for that. Over here, it looks like we have these glasses for $15. Kind of small. This is like actual glass there. They also have the Freddy socks. I think we've seen those too, but I think that is it for new merch. Let's check Terrifier really quick. Yeah, so Terrifier now actually has these socks. So this is definitely new. These are going to be $22 for the socks. These are actually like shorter socks, I think. Oh no, they're just bent over. So still long socks, but you get art with his Christmas look. And then we also have these for the Clown Cafe freeze-dried Skittles there if you guys want some of those. And finally, it looks like we have a Five Nights lanyard here. This is new. It looks like they have like the tickets on the side. That actually looks really good. And then you get like the checkered print over there with the characters, and it does say Halloween Horror Nights 2025. So pretty cool. I like that. 16 bucks. I was still looking for Hamikuma, but it does look like over here $55 for these Chucky pants. And then they also have a hoodie to go along with it for $70, also new. So any of my Chucky lovers, some new merch coming in for that. We're just sitting over here shopping. We still need to go get our Stay and Scream bracelets before it's too late. So we're gonna go do that. No Hamikuma. I really want, after doing the WWE house, I want that original Let Me In shirt for the Wyatt 6. Did you want any merch? I feel like you were talking about something.
I just wanted my little earrings that I got.
Yeah.
I think when the weather cools off, I kind of want that long sleeve Wyatt 6 shirt, but like it is way too hot to even think about that right now.
Yeah, it's true. But honestly, we have both been loving that house a lot. The Jason house also has been superb. So I'm really happy with the houses this year. Again, we'll talk all about it today. But again, no Hamikuma merch yet. It should be here by the end of the season though. Today's color for Stay and Scream is orange. So something I do want to point out for Stay and Scream, right there you can see, opens at 6 p.m. for El Artista. If you guys are coming before we do our Stay and Scream video, I just want to say you probably want to avoid this front area. We'll explain all of it in depth in that video, but Stay and Scream at the front of the park for like 5 nights in Terrifier might not be the best bet. I've seen a lot of people saying that they've waited 2 to 3 hours during Stay and Scream and only got one house done. I would highly recommend Jason or any of the 10 houses. I'll explain more later, but if you guys need to know anything, just do that for your Stay and Scream, and I think you'll have a better opportunity. Unless you're in at like 3 o'clock and you want to go wait in line and start that early, but then you're kind of waiting 2 hours anyway. Just keep that in mind for you guys. I will have a full video on Stay and Scream, but if I were doing it for myself right now, I would not do the hub to start my Stay and Scream. Now, some people are very upset. The Twisted Taters booth no longer are the Twisted Taters that are on the stick. They are now in a bag, which is basically just chips in a bag. They do not have them on a stick this year, which could be a positive or a negative. I actually think you get a lot more in the bag than you got on the stick, so I think it's actually a positive. We're also in the middle of doing a food review today. We are finishing up some of the stuff, so hopefully I think the food will be out, I think, by this weekend. I'm hoping, if everything goes well tonight, we're gonna have that food review for you guys, which we try, I think, every single booth, which is awesome. The music has started. You could hear the cats now talking inside of Crooked Lane. And maybe talk is the wrong word, but they're meowing, as you can hear. No scare actors yet. I'm assuming they'll be making their way out very soon. Look at that fog pumping out into the air. I just love it this year, guys. It is so amazing what they have done for HHN34. It looks like they have added a pizza fry sign, because I have not seen this yet. And we were just asking, where do you get pizza fries?
Where are the fries?
Yeah, so it looks like now they have a little sign here, which actually just takes you right around the corner over to like the DreamWorks area. But this was definitely not here before, and we were like, where do you get them? If you guys are curious, you get them right here over at DreamWorks, or you get them over at Louis. We are just before 6 p.m. right now. Some action happening up there, as you can see in the window. No scare actors yet, though. Oh, look at this. Hatch and Chains is still 5 minutes, so we're not gonna use Express right now, and let's just do it this way. They also have adjusted. Express is like right there now, so it's on the left side of the sign instead of having to go all the way around. They just basically put the barriers there, but before, you'd have to enter over there, and people didn't realize that, so it kind of got jumbled up. We are getting ready to go do Hatchet and Chains, but overall, I mean, how have you liked the food so far this year? We have tried almost every single food booth, as far as like the unique ones, so honest opinions, I mean, how are you feeling?
I think the food is good, but it's not my favorite year for the food. I think there's not as many almost like dinner options, if that makes sense. Like last year there was more like heavy hitting dishes that was like filling, you could like eat for dinner. And everything's good this year, but nothing to me is like, oh my God, this is fantastic. So again, like everything's been good, everything's been unique, everything's been fun. Like nothing's been like gross or inedible. Like, oh God, like that carnival dog would not eat that. But nothing is like holy cow amazing to me, if that makes sense.
So I have to agree with Nicole. We just got done doing Hatch and Chains. As I stated earlier, don't go for those 3 hours. We literally just walked on to that one, and we had basically a staggered entry like we should have had during premium screen. We were like the only ones in there. We got every single scare. Absolutely loved it. If you're doing Stay and Scream, come back to these houses here. You could run them multiple times. You could do pretty much any of them. I feel like they don't get that long of a wait, especially the originals in the 10 houses. But as Nicole stated, the food this year has been all pretty much good, but there hasn't been that standout item that I feel like we get almost every single year where it's like, this is like a must get. There are some very good items, but nothing yet I've felt where I'm like, I have to get this every single time I come back. And I feel like in the previous years, they've all had at least like one standout item, but nothing this year. But everything's been like consistent, which is a plus. So we just did Gulkin, and obviously we did Hatch and Chains. I can't see a thing, guys. Remember to wear shades or something, because early on, it's so bright. Now we are coming back here to do dolls, and another reason why I genuinely feel like HHN34 is just such a supreme year is the originals are insanely good, but the IPs are also insane this year. And I feel like sometimes it's like one versus the other, but a lot of people are really enjoying IPs just as much as the originals this year. We're doing dolls. Both of the 10 houses this year, the small 10 houses, are top tier. I feel like most years, one of them is like really good or at least pretty good, and the other one's kind of eh. This year, both of these 10 houses have been absurdly good. So Nicole and I, we're doing a food review here for, again, our food video, but just a quick snippet. Jason Food Booth, it is great. We did the corn with the hot Cheeto elote, and then we did the s'more. Both of them super good. So don't sleep on that Jason Food Booth. Don't sleep on Jason in the house. Jason's been delivering this year, has it not?
Jason's been surprising us both in every
Yes.
way.
So we just finished up with the Jason booth, like I was just saying, but Nicole was saying she might have to partially retract or at least adjust her initial statement at the start of the video talking about the food.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
I'm still standing like strong on that, like there's not enough main courses per se here, but I think I'm forgetting about the Plastico, like the chicken tender booth, and I'm forgetting about the ramen and the walking taco. So I do think like we ate those so early in the event, I kind of forgot about them, because I really did like those Parmesan chicken tenders with like the spicy marinara sauce, and I really did like the ramen. So it's not my favorite food year, but I don't want to be as negative as I came across now that I'm like reflecting on it, because there are some things I'm ready to get again.
Yeah, and again, like we tried so much stuff during Premium Scream Night and filmed so much that it's like you almost have to recall and be like, yeah, we did the Plastico food booth for dolls. We also did the Cat Lady, which again had like the ramen and the walking taco. Again, I don't know how much of that we've put on video at this point because that's going to be in the food video. But yeah, there's actually a lot of good stuff this year. Again, is it the best food year? I still don't think so. And I think that's kind of what we're agreeing on, is it's like, it's not necessarily the best food year, but it is good food overall, and the Jason Food Booth has been good. The biggest thing with this year, I think it's been the most consistent though, for sure. And again, HHN34, going back to first impressions this year, I think this has been the most consistent, where like every booth has like some good items for sure, and they've been relatively good. Like I'm not saying anything has necessarily been like 9 and 10 out of 10s. Some have been pretty good, but I don't think anything's really dropped below like maybe like a 7.5, which I feel like is pretty solid. I feel like everything is kind of in that 7 to 8 range. Those eggs, however, I wouldn't do those again. But everything else, like I think I would buy again. I think everything was fine. So it's just a good, consistent year for HHN with the food. You know, another thing that I'm really appreciating from Universal and Halloween Horror Nights is the risks that they took this year. We have the roaming art, we have club horror, we have the zombie experience. We have a lot of extra little things that like, who knows how good they were gonna do, and they're getting some data, and it's cool. I like that they take risks because people may like this or may not. And same thing with the zombies, same thing with just like everything that they're trying new this year, but they're taking the risks and you have to appreciate that. Look at that backdrop right now above Jason, also posted a 60, but look at that, like right there. Maybe it's not coming through super well on camera. Here, let's do this. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. Great sunset tonight. Look at the Jason line, oh my gosh. Just like we've been talking about the houses, you got.
It was a good Jason run tonight. They were on fire. They are like in your face.
They are.
I mean, like they hold their little like weapons up, like real close to you.
I know. They're so aggressive.
Was a new touch.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was, I mean, I don't know. Jason's wild. I mean, you get like the whole gambit. So good. Oh, it's art. Oh my god. Now we do need to talk about one of the weaker points this year, and it is going to be the tribute store. I mean, the tribute store is always known to be so incredibly well themed, and this year a lot of people are just not very happy with it. Now again, it's by no means a horrible tribute store. I don't think that at all. I just think the fact that we are utilizing so much of the Mummy Execute and Sahara Traders, I think just takes away so incredibly much from what normally is such an immersive experience, because up to about this point, this is where the tribute store is part of, but normally this is just Sahara Traders. So the only like real addition is this room right here, which just feels like a giant merch shop, unfortunately. Also, do you see how hard it is to navigate in here? But everything, it's just merchandise and merchandise and merchandise and merchandise, and then just everybody is squished in between, and you miss out on that like immersion. All of the immersion, you have to look up. I mean, that is where like art is. I don't even know if many people know that there's artwork on the ceiling. They're all just looking around, and it's just so incredibly crowded in here. There's no flow to it, and it's just one of the things this year that I think really fell short, unfortunately. I mean, how do you feel about the tribute store, Nicole? I feel like I've talked so much today. I mean, how do you feel about it?
I don't feel like it's the tribute store. I feel like it's kind of just like a merch store with some like artwork around, but it's not like this like transformed story that you're like walking through. And you know, every year it's like there's rooms that fit together to like create this whole experience, and I don't think this is giving that experience that it gives each year, and it's kind of a letdown. I'm sorry.
One thing that we cannot ignore this year right in front of us, and that is the lines that have existed this year. And you can see right here for the Fallout food booth, you have switchbacks going right there to get food, and it ends out in the middle of the Toxic 20 scare zone with how busy it is. And it is a Wednesday today, by the way, early on in the year, which is just absurd. And that is not just only for Fallout. Right next to it, Firefly Funhouse for the Wyatt 6. And you can see the line goes all the way back out into the street as well. That's a Terrifier food booth, and they go all the way out into the street back by the menu over there. It's just very, very busy this year. Just to round out the food booth, so you can see, this is the other Terrifier food booth, and it goes all the way back there, and it keeps going all the way back there. Very long. That is just a food booth, by the way. This isn't for a house or a ride, just for food. Again, when you kind of rate things, right, we're about to do El Artista, which I again think might be the most beautiful house Halloween Horror Nights has ever released. Not for like the past few years, like ever. It is absolutely stunning. And I do think the houses this year are knocking it out of the park. I do love that they are taking risks. Again, club horror, you have roaming arts, you have things like that are fun. It's unique. It's a different take on things. You're doing a wet path and a dry path. You know, like, do you want to go get soaked inside of Terrifier? Really bring that house to life. These are risks. I love them. The lines, though, this year have just been absurdly long. Premium Scream Night we saw was incredibly long. A lot of people were upset, and rightfully so. It was extremely busy for a night that you paid 4 times what you would pay for a normal night at Halloween Horror Nights. In general, I have seen nothing but insanely high wait times. Stay and Scream, for example, if you want to do 5 nights during Stay and Scream, it is almost always 180 minutes in that first hour of Stay and Scream. So it's extremely busy, and I think the only thing that you could do is realistically open up more houses. You got to get 2 more houses out here. Offer some more shows, you know, get more sit-down shows. Turn on the horror and makeup show and kind of do a new overlay to that. Maybe open up like the Bourne Theater and put like a show in there. I think we need more things to draw the crowds out, because the houses are getting extremely long and the food is getting extremely long. I also think we need probably another 2 to 3 food booths as well to start to kind of inch those crowds out a little bit more throughout the park, because right now they're congregating in these certain areas too, which is a big thing. So a lot of busyness this year to years past. But as far as the event and what's offered, I still think it is top notch. Nicole makes a good point too. What did you say, Nick?
You need more rides, and not like Transformers and Fallon rides. Like, we need Rip Ride.
I don't think we necessarily need more rides per se. We just need Rip Ride back. Yeah, I mean, Rip Ride was kind of a crowd eater. I feel like it was always like
People
45 plus
loved it,
minutes.
especially in the dark. Like, Rip Ride at night, Horror Nights is a vibe.
Yeah, so having this missing this year is also expanding crowds elsewhere, which we are seeing. So that is kind of a big drawback. Also, it's just weird not to see the lights blinking on this ride right now as you walk underneath it to go to El Artista. So we're stuck right now, trying to go back to the hub, which is crazy. This is insane. We're actually gonna go the other direction right now because it's so busy. So we're heading over to Wyatt 6. So we actually left that side of the hub. We're gonna go up to this side of the hub. But let's talk about the hub. So we were just stopped and we've talked a lot about the hub. How do you feel about it? Just blanket statement. How do you like the hub?
I don't understand why when you exit the El Artista house, you can't use that walk space to like funnel people in an opposite direction. So it feels like 80% of the crowds are going like left down the hub. So then the 20% are fighting their way to go like right, and there's no room. And I feel like it would make so much more sense if, as you're trying to exit the hub, if they could like funnel up that special VIP lane, so then at least everyone's going one direction into the hub, one direction out of the hub, but you can still have your two entry points. Like it's like this narrow for thousands of people to get through. And then when the scare actors are there, it's a joke. It's messy right now. It's real messy, and it's early enough in the season to fix it.
Let's talk a little bit about the hub situation. The issue that you have is kind of like Nicole was saying, when you go one way versus the other. It's very bright back here, holy cow. When you go one way versus the other, you have this really narrow path, and that path is basically an entrance and an exit point, but it's also a path for the scare actors to go to their break. I have some scare actor friends, and they tell us that they use that path, and we've seen them use that path. So they're stuck trying to use the same path that everybody else is, and it really gunks it up back there. So I would like them to maybe optimize the route a little bit, because it is very, very busy to the point that like sometimes you have to wait for the scare actors to go by. And we've seen an issue where 2 sets of cash changes came through, and you're kind of waiting there for like 5 minutes as they're walking through, because they're kind of walking, you gotta let them get through there. And yeah, it's a weird situation. Like right now, we're back here like next to like Hard Rock and like backstage kind of, and it's fine over on this side, but the other hub, like Hub B, I guess, like that entrance, that's the one that I think has a lot of issues. I almost think it might be better just to leave Hub A and then over there make it so you can navigate back and forth, and maybe that fixes it. I don't know, but the hub situation this year is rough, and it's not just the guests that are saying it, it's also the scare actors that are saying it. So I don't know, that's also one downside this year, is the hub is a lot more problematic than I think we thought it was going to be. It's easy to navigate, like it's not hard to find anything at all, wouldn't you say?
No, like not at all. And it's not even like the hub is the problem. It's the path to get to the hub, I think, is like the issue.
Yeah, no, and that's true. It's literally just the pathing there that's the problem. Again, once you're back here, everything is very easy to find. They have signs everywhere, so it's not an issue. But that is really, I think, the big issue this year would be the Tribute Store. I do feel like isn't up to Tribute Store standards, and then the hub back here is very messy, and the lines are long. But you expect long lines anyway. But that's kind of like the only things that I would say are like any sort of negative for this year. Outside of that, I genuinely feel like the year as a whole is the best year that I've been to personally. And I think it's going to rank in the top 5 for a lot of people across the board, specifically on the houses, I think. Now again, if you don't want to deal with the hassle, when you come back here to Wyatt 6 and 5 nights, this hub path, super, super easy. Also, 50 minutes for Wyatt 6. Okay, Nicole, do you think this house is going to be better or worse than Jason tonight? Because Jason was hot tonight. Yeah.
I think Jason's gonna take tonight.
Okay. I feel like that's gonna be like the debate of the year. It's like, is it Jason or Wyatt 6 that's gonna be the most aggressive today?
They both have like those bigger scare actors who like are intimidating. That's what gets
True.
you.
Yeah. You know, I'm 6 foot tall, so like when a scare actor towers over me, it gets a little it's a little menacing. And like Jason, all of them are like above you basically looking down, and the scare actors in here are just all huge too. It's crazy. We just finished up Wyatt 6. I think I have to give it to Jason tonight. Jason was on it. We got a lot of the scares. Wyatt 6, we missed a few behind us, a few in front of us. Again, still an awesome house, but I think Jason took the cake tonight. One of the last things I want to talk about would be the scare zones, as we see an absolute monster of a scare actor here. Absolutely absurd. This guy has to be, I don't even know, 12, 13, 14 feet tall? Significantly taller than all of the other still walkers, which is just insanity. It's awesome. Well, we are wrapping up. It is still a work night for us, which is, again, the beauty of having frequent fear. And then obviously we have Express with ours, so we can come in, get a number of houses done. I think we did all but maybe 3 or 4 tonight, which I think is actually really, really good. But yeah, just overall this year, I'm just so excited to keep coming back and running these houses. I would say, like I said, this could be my favorite year yet. I think the houses are outstanding. I think the scare zones, all of them except Origins, I like that they finally added, you know, an entry scare zone. It is a little weak still. The design is great, but I think we walked through there was the 2 birds, 2 gargoyles, and I think 1 chainsaw person, and then 1 that like blended in. So I think there was like 6 scare actors, maybe 7. You go into the other scare zones and it's like, I mean, there's probably 30, you know? So, and I understand because they're walking through there, so like, I don't think they want to kind of like gunk it up. But I do think Origins is the only weak scare zone. The rest of them, I think, are all super well themed. They're just nailing it in there. I think it is a very, very solid year for scare zones and houses. I think the shows are also doing a great job. I think the Mel's Die-In Zombies are also gaining a little bit of traction. Not as much traction as I think I would have thought they would have. Not as many skaters there either, which is something I thought they were going to be doing, like a lot more skating, maybe like performing more. It's basically just kind of this like mini scare zone. And then Club Horror. Club Horror is one of those situations where I've seen some nights where like people are just like jumping and vibing in there, and maybe it's like an after midnight thing. And then other times you kind of walk through and it seems kind of dead. So I think it just depends on the timing. I think if I were to like rate this year, I would give it like an 8.8 to like a 9 out of 10. I can't give it a 10. I don't know if you could ever give a year a 10, to be honest, but I could give this year dang near a 9. And I think it's only going to get better. What about you, Nicole? How are you feeling? Like overall score, vibe?
You know, it's so early in the season, and it's like, do things change for the worse? Like, but I think I could see right now, like coming in at like a solid 8.2, 8.3.
There you go. So I think this year has done a good job giving us a very strong year. It's obviously going to depend on where you find interest too. I do think the food being good but not insane, also coming off of like Epic Universe, because we just went to Epic not too long ago. Obviously you had Epic opening and like they have such insanely good food that I think it's kind of difficult when you're like, dang, like you know what could kind of come of it. Exactly. So I think the food, it's good, but it's not fantastic. Scare zones, I think, are very good. But again, Origins still is a little missing there. Great set, but it's not like that oomph that you're looking for in a scare zone. So you're kind of like at 3 scare zones now. You do have the front one. It's just not as like big and punchy. And again, they took risks this year, which I think is great. Are they going to work out? I mean, I don't know. But I think I'd rather them take risks than to not take the risk.
Because they're trying something.
Exactly. And I think that's what we can hope for, and I'm just glad they're doing it. Either way, first impressions are looking great. Obviously, we're going to have to do a new video at the end of the season and kind of give our final thoughts on the event, but just early on, that is kind of it. I don't want to do a house ranking yet. We'll do that one maybe this weekend and kind of give you our early house ranking and see where it is by the end of the season. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for certain videos, like to do later in the season, things like that. If there are certain things you guys want to see, make sure to let us know in any of the comments below on any of the videos. We'll try and kind of help you guys out, make sure that we can help you plan your visit to HHN this year. We want to make sure that you guys are having a good time, that you guys are able to kind of see things, do things, and kind of get that full vibe of what it's like here. But either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you don't mind, please give it a thumbs up. We'll be back in the next few days as we get ready for another night at HHN34. Hopefully we'll see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for being here.